Hello everyone, I want to do a quick video here on Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance has been getting a lot of news lately, especially with Benjamin Cohen and from Into the Cryptoverse publishing the on Bitcoin dominance. And I was talking about he sees Bitcoin dominance going to 72% based on this levels here, the 72% as you'll see there. And it ran twice 72 in September 2019 and had a spike up to 73, it looks like, in January 2021. And that is when Bitcoin dominance reversed and was altcoin season. Now, interestingly enough, you'll note that we had the spike to 72, which we can call point A. Bitcoin dominance on the chart here, 19-day, 20 days, quite similar, turned red, indicating this was basically the end of dominance, but we at the last death throes of Bitcoin, fighting and then capitulating against the altcoins. And here we have an interesting setup. Dominance has turned red. Dominance has turned red. So the question is, are we coming in for the final death throes? And then one thing is, point A was at 72%. Point B, we can call there, was at 73%. Point A here is not at 72%. Point A is at 65%, 65.4. So there's no reason that if we get a final death throw up here, it should be at 66%, probably 66.6%, perfect number for the Satanist controllers or manipulators of the market. And so this is quite a different perspective from Into the Cryptoverse perspective, that we will see 72%. That makes no sense here. We could see 66%. But there is actually no, because he's got a very negative view. He's also on the Moon Crypto Kit's channel. Crypto Kit put out a video about, he's got a Cohen interview that's coming out, and he's very negative now, Crypto Kit as well, the result of that. And is there any good news then? Well, the one thing is everybody's looking at the 4-year cycle. Now, it will take still the 20-day chart. So the question is, are we going to spike up here? Because that's going to take another 2-3 candles. That's about 60 days. Now, this 90-day candle could still spike over, and the next one could just come reversing. Or this candle could turn red, and the dominance could fail. Bitcoin dominance could fail. Yeah, right, yeah. There's no requirement that it must now have this death row spike before it reverses. It's already turned red. It already spiked up to the red line there. If you look at this, there was no spike up to the red line like we have here. So what if the US shutdown ends next week and Bitcoin starts to recover and the alts recover more? This candle would become red. And what if this candle closes? Yeah. That would change the position considerably, because then dominance would already be fading. Now, the question is time period of the 4 years. This, in terms of the stock market, could be the big question here. Is the stock market coming up for a massive crash of 50%? If that is so, then the entire crypto market would likely be wiped out, including Bitcoin would drop probably 90% if the stock market crashes 50%. In that case, Bitcoin dominance would not stop at 66%. It would go past 72 as well, probably go down up to 90%. But Bitcoin will basically be worthless as well, and the altcoins will be totally wiped out, most of them. Now, this is not good news if that happens. So that is something that is to worry about, but a stock market crash is always something to worry about. And currently, Bitcoin dominance is going down. Bitcoin dominance is going down. We might see the spike. So it's not hopeless yet. The 4-year cycle could extend, because another thing that is not being talked about is the Bitcoin fact that Bitcoin had an ETF approved, and some altcoins had ETFs approved now as well. So what's the situation? Well, if once gold's ETF was approved, it ran up for about 10 years, nearly straight up. So that's the question: is that did the 4-year cycle not end when the ETF came out? That's definitely a possibility. But a lot hangs on the stock market and the question how much money the US is going to be printing and if a crash can be avoided. I think no one is expecting everything to go on up forever, but they are at least expecting to get some form of an altcoin season here. And the question is if that is still possible. It does appear to still be possible. Of course, if Bitcoin starts dropping rapidly and dominance goes past that 66% level, I would actually be getting worried at that point, because then it would be more likely that it's going to go up, not to 72, but it will carry on up. And you'll see the stock market also breaking levels it's not supposed to break unless it's going into a bear market. So a lot of things to look at, but on the positive side, remember there's two things coming up. The one is the shutdown will definitely create a bearish environment. Last time when the shutdown ended, let's end with some positive news here. When the shutdown, there was a shutdown in the US, and after the shutdown ended, Bitcoin had also pulled back during the shutdown, and I think it pumped about 200% after the shutdown ended. And I don't expect a 200% pump, but shows you what could happen. Secondly, we know that quantitative tightening is ending on the 1st of December. And shortly after that, we also had pumps in the crypto that were considerable. And in fact, an altcoin season also started shortly after that. So I think it's not yet necessarily time to be so negative as some people are. We have to keep our eyes on the charts closely and see what transpires. I hope you're going to have a great day, and to have regular updates on the charts, come join a trading club. You can run your tokens, etc., also through on Bitcoin dominance and see how they're looking specifically. We know currently ICP is looking great against Bitcoin, for example, and what showed you there is there was a quick pump, 30-40%. Now it's up over 100%. Any of the alts can do that, and basically just a spark is needed for something in the project, and there it goes. So that gives some hope as well, the fact that ICP is moving like that, because that is possible for any of the alts, or nearly any of them, as long as something's going on in the project and it's not a dead project. So we'll keep our eye on the charts. Have a great day.